Love it or hate it, shiny hunting is something you will always see, especially when most of the things you watch are Pokemon related, and I didn't really care too much about it, but eventually after seeing it for so long, I couldn't help but watch a video and immediately fall into this rabbit hole of people shiny hunting in different games. But one thing I noticed is that not a lot of people shiny hunt in the older games anymore, and as someone who loves the older games, I couldn't let that slide. In my last hunt, I tried finding a shiny Tinpole in Pokemon Black and White for 5 hours a day for a whole week. And what do I have to show for it? This ugly bird. I didn't know I could hate a Pokemon so much. So I think it's about time I get some revenge by shiny hunting the best bird Pokemon, Murkrow. And just like last time, my goal is to shiny hunt for 5 hours a day for a whole week, and I'm doing it on my personal 3DS that I've had for years with a copy of Pokemon Diamond I paid way too much money for. And what better way than to start this hunt with my computer breaking down on me while I was working on the last 2 minutes of my Living Dex video. How fun. Now, since I'm still new to shiny hunting, I wanted to try a different method for finding a shiny Pokemon, and that's when I came across the Pokeradar, and I've seen a couple people use it before, and after watching some YouTube videos, this is gonna suck, and man, I was fighting for my life all week. Now, to explain how the Pokeradar works, I'll have the 2 videos I watched down in the description below because I can't explain it to save my life. So I'll just give you a very bare bones explanation, and before I start, I do have a confession to make. When I got this game a couple years ago, I attempted to find a shiny Shinx and I rage quit after breaking my chain of 27, so hopefully I can do better than that. So let's get started. It's day 1 and I was regretting this already. Once the Pokeradar goes off, certain patches of grass will start to shake, and there's mainly 2 that I have to look out for, but whatever I choose, I have to stick with it no matter what, as if I choose the other one, I will run into a different Pokemon, and I would have to restart my hunt, as we have to create a chain of only Murkrows, and the way we keep that going is by running into them every encounter and either catch them or knock them out. But it's also not that simple, as there's a couple rules you have to follow, and if you mess up even a little bit, you'll break the chain, and the best I could do was a chain of 18, and our goal is to reach a chain of 40. So this is gonna take a while, and it also didn't help that it was getting really late, and I was starting to get sleepy, so when I was setting off the Pokeradar, I would doze off and break my chain, as I didn't know where all the grass placements were at, all because I refused to go to sleep. It's day 2 and I was messing around for a bit as I wanted to test my luck with some of these encounters and also try to understand how this works a lot better, and it really helped as I was able to get higher chains consistently to the point I was able to get to a chain of 27, the same score I had a couple years ago, which was really cool because it took me like a month to get that score. To be fair though, it was very casual. It was like maybe 2 hours a day. The brutal part was that it took me 2 hours to get that score. When I started this, I didn't realize how annoying it was going to be to catch a Murkrow because 9 times out of 10 it breaks out of a quick ball. Like, I get it if it was once in a while, but almost every encounter is insane. So I tried using False Swipe and then an Ultra Ball, but it would still break out. So I would have to paralyze it and it would still break out. So each encounter takes about 5 to 6 minutes to do, and I was using Great Balls, Ultra Balls, Repeat Balls. Honestly, they're all the same at this point. And the way I broke my chain was even worse. I looked away for 1 second and I didn't see the grass placement after the battle, so after taking a couple steps, I run into a random Pokemon. That was rough. With that, my 5 hours were up, and all I can say is that I was fighting birds all day. It's day 3 and now I'm starting to get frustrated because once you start the hunt, you either find Murkrow in 2 minutes or 10. There is no in between. And most of the time it was 10, so if I break my chain, it takes forever to start back up again. Not to mention the 6 minutes it takes to fight every bird we encounter. So clearly I needed a break, so let's catch a shiny Shinx. Plus I wanted one anyway. Luckily we can get a Pokemon with the ability Static to boost the odds of finding an electric type by 50%, and the difference was insane. I think I was playing on hard mode the whole time because we were able to start our hunt immediately and catch them without any problems. For once, the quick balls and repeat balls were actually doing something, so I reached a chain of 27 in 40 minutes. That's crazy. That would take me 2.5 hours with Murkrow. Anyways, soon enough, I was closing in on a chain of 40 and I was super excited and nervous. So I was playing super safe to the point I couldn't mess up. So I messed up and accidentally ran away at a chain of 38. I was so butthurt because it was my fault, so I gave up for an hour before jumping back into it, and I think running from the battle became second nature to me, as in my last hunt I had to run away after every encounter, and I did that thousands of times, literally, so it just became a habit. And it actually happened a lot when I first started doing this, so I thought I could break that habit, but it came back at the worst time. Soon enough, my 5 hours were up and I was too sleepy to continue. It's day 4 and I got the whole day to myself, so I'm aiming for 10 hours of shiny hunting, and that did not happen, but I came close. But one thing's for sure, I wasn't going to sleep until I found a shiny, so I decided to look for that shiny Shinx as a warm up before I look for that shiny Murkrow once and for all. And one thing I noticed is that I always start off slow, so it wasn't until halfway through my 5 hours that I actually got a couple attempts worth talking about. But let me just talk about the one that I'm most embarrassed by, because it happened again and I ran away. Why am I like this? This is what I get for watching YouTube as I was hunting. I should have known better. I can't multitask. My 5 hours were up, but like I said, I'm not stopping until I find this shiny, so I continued this hunt with no YouTube, no music, just me in the game, and I finally did it. I reached a chain of 40. When I tell you my heart was pounding out of my chest, I could feel my ears turn red. So now more than ever, I had to make sure I didn't blink after every reset to find that shiny patch of grass. And I was freaking out because it wouldn't appear, so 30 minutes later, I finally found it, and I found a shiny Shinx. This is 3 years in the making, and even though it's not the shiny Murkrow I wanted for this hunt, I still got a shiny that I really wanted all those years ago, and it feels like I won for once. With that, I tried finding as many shinies as I could possibly get, as I know I didn't put my whole heart out for 4 days just for one, so I have to. It was hard, okay? I did most of the hours all in one go, so once I got my second shiny, a whole hour and a half went by with nothing. And I know I was losing it when I thought I saw a shiny patch appear, but it wasn't a shiny, and I ended up with a chain of 52. So that happened 12 times that I ended up breaking my chain. Honestly, I should have just left my game on and came back to it tomorrow, but it didn't cross my mind until the next day. But on the bright side, I can go to sleep knowing I found 2 shiny Shinx, so in total I did 8 hours, so not bad at all. Okay, it's day 5, the last day of the hunt. And technically, I was only going to spend 25 hours shiny hunting in this video, but with 2 hours left and not having anything to show for it, I gave myself another 5 hours because I could just feel it in my veins. I was going to find a shiny bird, and I absolutely trashed my whole 5 hours. It was so bad. I couldn't get past a chain of 25, and I really don't know what happened. And to rub it in, I was running really low on repels and Pokeballs, so I went farming for money, and as I was running around, I found a shiny Staravia. Okay, that's it. I hate bird Pokemon now. If you want to see more stuff like this, like the video as it really helps out the channel, and subscribe if you like my content in general. I do a bunch of Pokemon stuff. With that, have a great day, and until next time, see ya.